Hey, welcome to Bitunix, the world's fastest growing crypto and derivatives exchange. Today we're going to look at leverage on the futures market and see how it can affect your trading and also give you a tutorial of how to use it. So first, let's navigate over to the futures tab on our dashboard. And you can see we're greeted with the candlestick chart, the order book, and the menu function. So on the menu function, this is where you can place your orders and change your leverage. So first we need to select our margin mode. I personally like to use cross. We have a video on about the different types of margin modes. So check our other tutorial videos for that. And then right up here next to that, we have our leverage selector. So we can select all the way from 1x leverage to 125x leverage. So depending on which one you use, you have a max quantity that you can open, and this also completely affects the position size. So I'm going to show you some examples. So for the example, let's start with 100x leverage to keep the numbers nice and round. And as you can see, I'm going to order do a market short on Bitcoin here. So I put in the cost basis of $10 and open short here. And as you can see, our margin right here is the initial $10 minus a small leverage fee. But using this margin, because we are on 100x leverage, the actual position size is 100 times our margin amount. So we have a position that is almost $1,000 basically as its size of the position, because you simply multiply whatever leverage you're using by the margin. So as you can see, now that we have this larger position size, whenever price moves in our favor, it's going to move in a larger swing as if we would have used the same margin but with a smaller leverage size. So as you increase the leverage but keep margin the same, that position size is going to get bigger. But there is a common misconception with leverage that the higher the leverage, the higher the risk. That's not necessarily true, and I'll show you some examples why. So let's close this position. Let's do a 10x leverage position, but this time we're going to use $100. We're going to let's open long this time. So as you can see, our margin is 93, which is the initial we put in minus the funding fees. And funding fees are a bit higher at the moment because Bitcoin has been pumping very violently. And as you can see, our position size is 938. So because of that subtraction from the funding fee, it would be about $1,000. So my point that I'm making here is even though we decrease the leverage, because we increase the margin, the position size is exactly the same. So when you see traders online who use higher leverage, you need to understand that they are most likely using a smaller margin size. And that smaller margin size allows them to use less of their personal capital and more of the exchange, margin to fill that in and allow them to still have a larger position size. Now, it's also worth noting that depending on your position size, how large it is, you're going to get a liquidation price. So right here it says estimated liquidation price. Right now it's 68K. So if I let this trade run with no stop loss and Bitcoin went all the way from 75,000 down to 68,000, my entire futures balance would be liquidated. And what that means is the margin that is put in here plus the margin that is in my assets that is being used as collateral. Now that's on the cross margin mode. If we do it on the isolated margin mode, it would only liquidate whatever margin you use to enter the trade. Now I'm going to show you one more example. We're going to do a short here, and we're going to do 100x leverage, and we're going to do 20 USDT. So last time we did 10 USDT margin with 100x leverage, and that gave us a position size of about 1000 USDT. So if we do 20 USDT and 100x leverage, it would be the 100x times 20. So our position size would be double. So we kept the leverage exactly the same, but we doubled the margin. So that's why our position size is double. So once you understand the leverage just acts as a multiplier to whatever margin you put in, it is very simple to understand, and you can use this as a tool to effectively trade better and allow you to risk less capital while benefiting from the smaller price swings. So I hope this tutorial helped you understand leverage, and come trade with us on Bitunix.